presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
Miami stay in the beautiful Twin Cities area is coming to a close, but not before Game 3 as the Marlins and the Twins get set to go. Everybody is welcome here tonight. Marlin fans, Twin fans, Urban Santana fans. Tom Kohler gets the ball for the pitch. Everybody getting ready. Marlins have lost the first 2 games of this series, looking to capture Game 3. Rich Waltz, Preston Wilson. The saying goes in baseball, momentum starts with your starting pitcher. The Marlins have lost 2 here against a bottom of the heat team in the Twins in the Central American League. So, if you're not a pitcher, and you were not, how do you start some momentum for yourself?
Well, I think it really starts with energy. And you have to try to find a way to get the emotions up in the ball club. And I'm not talking about inner batter's box. I'm talking about just around the clubhouse, in the locker room. Because sometimes when you're playing teams that you don't know, teams that aren't headline teams, you tend to overlook them. In college football or football, they call them trap games. Well, these are trap series where you end up getting yourself at a deficit because you've kind of just laid back a little bit too much against these guys.
And the one play in baseball that can shift momentum is the home run. The Twins have hit 7 in 2 games, and the Marlins have not homered at all. And for your viewing pleasure, here are the 7.
Well, there were 7, and this one may have been the longest of them all. Eduardo Nunez upper decked in his second one in the first game of the series. Just got over Marcelo Ozuna, just to the left field side of center field. It didn't stop there. Zach Grossman went up, home run. Then Dozier with the game winner from game 1. All of these guys aren't really hitting for high average, but they found a way to get out of the yard. Mauer opposite field. I mean, he's been a fixture here in Minnesota.
Yeah, it was 4 home runs in game 1, 3 homers last night, and of course the Twins helped erase Miami leads late with those home runs. So we went from position player, now we talk pitching. And the 2 pitchers that go in this one, Urban Santana and Tom Kohler. Quick, give me 15 seconds on Tom Kohler.
Tom Kohler's got to pitch well with his fastball so that he can make outs with his curveball and not have to pitch with his curveball.
That's very nice. Tom Kohler pitched well last time out. Urban Santana, Marlins have seen him. Ichiro has seen him an awful lot. And of course, Ichiro hot in this series and in the lineup tonight. Late inning issues. Jessica Blaylock, when we get back, dissects what's been plaguing the Marlins here in Minneapolis in the late innings. is the presenting sponsor of Miami Marlins baseball. Marlins and Twins finish off a series. Twins have won the first two. Jessica Blaylock down on the field. Jess?
Hey, Rich, the Marlins have 24 hits in this series. They have a couple of players who have had multi-hit games, but unfortunately, the offense has stalled in late innings. The Marlins have scored no runs in the 7th inning or later in this series, and that has ended up being costly. But that's something that they have struggled with all season long. If you take a look at some of the numbers, you'll see that most of the Marlins' offensive productions comes in innings 1 through 6, but then in the 7th inning on, they have been outscored by opponents by a total of 53 runs to 87. Here is Don Mattingly on what he feels like his team can do to start producing more runs late in games.
I think the biggest thing for us is to make sure that we're prepared for their guys out of the pen. And a lot of times you really do a lot of prep on the starter because you know you're going to see the majority of him, but it's a matter of putting some time in on guys that you don't necessarily know or don't see as much. And it's a little bit extra work, but I think it's a matter of us just being a little better prepared for the bullpen. It's really more about just continuing to play and continuing to add on. You never know how many runs you're going to need. Some days you may need 8 or 9. Other days you may not need them. But I think you want to be able to take pressure off your guys in the pen, or they're not always pitching in a game that they can't afford to make a mistake. So that's more than anything. It's just about keep playing and continue and play 9 innings and 27 outs.
And even last night, we saw that offense production in the 5th and 6th inning, but after that, the Marlins offense once again stalled. No runs in the 7th inning on, and that ended up being the difference. When we return, it is the finale of this 3-game series between the Twins and the Marlins. Tom Kohler takes the mound as he tries to help the Fish get their first win in this series.
Puzzle that has been the Minnesota Twins the last 2 nights. As this 3-game set wraps up, Miami's lineup is brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine. Preston Wilson.
Well, chasing 3,000, each rose at the top. Martin Prado is second. Christian Yelich is third. Marcelo Ozuna is in the 4-hole. Giancarlo Stanton is DHing, batting 5th. Justin Bour is 6th. Derek Dietrich is 7th. JT Realmuto is 8th. And Adeiny Echeverria is batting 9th.
And here is Ichiro, and he takes a fastball that misses out. Irvin Santana veteran, his 12th Major League season, longtime American League starter with the Angels, and Ichiro into right field with a line drive for a hit. He is 28 away now from 3,000, 7 for his last 12.
Wow, you can just hear the clickers clicking, Rich, can't you?
Unbelievable. And he didn't even give us time to say that he's had success, a lot of it, against Santana earlier in his career. Ichiro has 31 hits now against Santana and an average of about 333. And there's your all-time list. So he's at 72, 28 away. Here's Martin Prado with Yelich and Ozuna to follow. Marlins have been able to score early in this series. The Fish had a run right out of the chute on Tuesday night in Game 1. See Prado's numbers this year, a 4 for 8. Couple doubles and a couple walks in the first 2 nights here in Minneapolis. Ichiro has a good lead, and Prado trying to shoot that ball through the right side. Swings through it, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Ervin Santana, 33 now. A slender right-hander out of the Dominican, 6'2", 175. Ichiro, who swiped a bag the other night and brought him to a tie with Paul Molitor. That's right, the Twins skipper and Ichiro are tied on the all-time stolen base list at 504. They're also on a very exclusive list of players in Major League history to reach 500 career steals and have at least 2,900 hits. Prado's fly ball down the right field line is foul. Just listen to these names in this exclusive club. And amazingly, 3 of these names are here tonight. So 5,000 career steals, 2,900 plus hits. Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Eddie Collins, Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, Barry Bonds, Paul Molitor, and Ichiro. That's pretty cool. All 3 here, that trio here tonight, and Ichiro at 42, still going strong. There's Molitor and Bonds. Prado into right field. Arcia back and now in. And he makes the catch. Ball has jumped in this ballpark pretty well the first 2 nights. Twins defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. That guy's played well. Eduardo Nunez in this series. Robbie Grossman at left. Byron Buxton is in center. Oswaldo Arcia in right. Trevor Plouffe and Joe Mauer on the corners. Eduardo Nunez, Brian Dozier up the middle, and Juan Centeno is the catcher for the Twins. Look at Nunez, who's made the most of an opportunity to play every day. Might just be an all-star this year as Ichiro is chased back. And here's Yelich. Yelich last night a 1 for 5, and he was 1 for 5 in the first game, and that extends a hit streak, which now has hit 8 straight.
He's one of those guys that's so good that even when his swing isn't right, because I don't see him as himself just right now, he's still able to scratch out hits. You know, I think being out those games kind of messed up his rhythm a little bit. But he's just so good and so solid in his approach that he's able to scratch out hits even when he's not feeling his best.
Yelich fouls that one back. And it's 0-2. Marlins saw some of Santana in the National League briefly, and that was 2014 when he pitched for the Braves. He kind of hopscotched between leagues. 8 years with the Angels, 2013 with the Royals, next year with the Braves. And then last year here with the Twins. Twins have gone the route of signing some veteran starters. Ricky Nolasco, Santana, another one. That one gets away. Ichiro is on his way to second base. And my bad, says Santana to Joe Mauer.
Yeah, you could see when he threw that, when he kind of threw it, and it didn't really have a whole lot of conviction behind it. It was like he's throwing darts a little bit. Just watch this throw, like, you could tell it was almost like he tried to guide it over there, and he just, when you do that, it doesn't quite go where you want it to.
Only Max Scherzer can get away with that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's a bouncer to short. Nunez in time to get the out. And so 2 outs, and here's Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna had a big hit yesterday. The Marlins actually came back from a 4-run deficit to take the lead in yesterday's ball game. They were down 4-0. Ozuna, a 2-run single in that 4-run fifth. Miami would lead the game 5-4 before the Twins would score late. With a Young Ho Park homer and a couple of RBI singles in the 7th.
Some late movement on that fastball from Santana.
He's always been known for that. An all-star with the Angels back in 2008. He's not pitched well lately. Gave up 5 runs and 3 home runs against the Rays in his last start. 3 runs in Oakland and 6 runs at home against Kansas City. Ozuna cracks one in the gap, left center field. Ichiro will score. Buxton cuts it off, and that'll keep Ozuna to a double. And Miami's on the board. Marcell Ozuna's 11th double.
Well, something with Santana is that he can be wild in the strike zone sometimes. That ball set right in the middle of the plate, and Ozuna, with that steady approach, hits that ball right on the nose, shoots it in the gap. Ichiro's going to score easy on that. And what a monster Marcell Ozuna has been in some of these clutch situations for the Marlins. What a difference a year makes, Rich.
Absolutely. Stanton now fastball. He takes a rip at it and misses a 96-mile-an-hour heater. Stanton a couple hits in the series, and they both came last night. Line drive single to right and then one to center. And one of those drove in a run. He had an RBI in the first game. Sends that one up and deep down the right field line. And that's into the seats.
Rich, it's amazing the number of tweets and messages I get about Giancarlo Stanton. And it's almost like they feel like he's the worst player in the league. But the problem is he's not. He's having a bad run right now as far as batting average. He's in double digits in home runs. But he's the type of guy that when he gets going, he can erase this bad streak. A lot of guys don't have the talent to overcome a bad stretch like this. When he gets hot, he's hotter than anybody.
Well, right now it's been a struggle. A swing and a miss at a breaking ball. The Marlins on the board, though. Another Ichiro hit and an Ozuna double. Here comes Tom Kohler. RBI double. And Miami off to a good start here in Minnesota tonight. Twins lineup brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine.
Well, here are the Homer-happy Twins. Eduardo Nunez is leading off. Robbie Grossman, Joe Mauer. Trevor Plouffe is in the cleanup spot. Brian Dozier is batting 5th. Young-Ho Park is 6th. Osvaldo Arcia is 7th. Juan Centeno is batting 8th. And Byron Buxton is batting 9th.
Tom Kohler now, start number 12. And for Kohler and the Fish, they'd love to salvage this final game here in Minneapolis before heading to Arizona and opening a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks, with San Diego also on the itinerary. That series starts on Monday and takes the Marlins through midweek in San Diego. Kohler last time out facing the Mets gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, struck out 6, walked 1. Breaking ball, and Nunez. Shallow center. Ozuna had to run through the sunshine and then into the shade. He makes the catch. Miami's defense tonight behind Kohler to start with, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yelich, Ozuna, Ichiro is in right. Giancarlo is DHing tonight. Martin Prado, Justin Bour on the corners. Danny Echeverria and Derek Dietrich up the middle. JT Realmuto gets the call behind home plate.
You see those flags there on the very end? They were blowing across from right field to left when Ozuna caught that ball. See him there. And the big scoreboard is going to block some of that, but that gives you an idea of what the wind is doing up there. So the players have got to pay attention to that as well.
This has been an absolutely gorgeous weather stay for the Marlins. The forecast for this weekend here in Minnesota is heat. So it's supposed to get hot here this weekend. Of course, the Marlins are headed to Phoenix. On to first in time. Robbie Grossman with a bouncer. And Tom Kohler has 2 quick outs here in the first.
And one last thing about the wind, Rich. As a player, it's one thing to look at the flags, but you also need to know what the wind conditions are down on the ground. I would always pick up some grass, throw it up in the air, and which way that blew. That told me if there was a difference in the wind above the stadium and the wind that's down in the rim, because sometimes the wind above the rim of the stadium can be different what's on the surface.
Joe Mauer now. The face of the Twins for some time. He homered last night. He's also doubled in the series. Mauer is 33 now, with a very impressive resume. 6-time All-Star, 3 batting titles, 3 Gold Gloves as a catcher, and now playing first after battling concussion issues for a couple of seasons. Up the middle, Echeverria shifted there and gets the out. Nice quiet first for Tom Kohler. Underway to the second, 1-0 Miami. A sweet package, a package of sweets, and variable sweet sizes are available. Select the games you want, plus 6 game plans with renewal. Also include guaranteed tickets to the 2017 All-Star Game. 1-877 Marlins. Go to marlins.com. So a 3 or a 6 game sweet plan. Here is Justin Bour against Irvin Santana, who splits the plate with a fastball. Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto follow. Here in the top of the second against Santana. Twins have the shift on. Nunez waiting on that ground ball. And Bour out number 1. T-Mobile gives you greater coverage of baseball. The Marlins have made their selection. Highly rated lefty Braxton Garrett out of Florence, Alabama. A high schooler, 6'3", 190. He has international competition and success. And the Marlins draft him with the 7th overall pick. A little later on, we will speak with one of the Marlins executives who is in the war room right now. I believe it's Jeff Conine and Bill Beck in Secaucus. Have not seen any of the draft coverage. We've been locked in here with this game, but I need to dial it up just to make sure that Conine is repping the broadcast division of the Marlins with a sweet tie and maybe those colorful socks he's famous for. 1-2 to Dietrich. Realmuto's on deck. Dietrich hits the ball in the center field. Buxton. And he makes the catch. Top 10 picks already. Zach Collins, University of Miami catcher, goes to the White Sox, 10th overall. Cal Quantrill, the Stanford right-hander, to San Diego. He's not pitched since his freshman year. He's been out after Tommy John surgery. Realmuto shoots that into the corner. And it's 0-1. JT Realmuto. A couple hits in the series. Both have been doubles. And he sends that one into right center field for a hit. Let's scout Irvin Santana.
Well, Rich, here's your scouting report. You're going to see a lot of fastballs and sliders, but he does have a changeup that he keeps there. He had early success with the Halos. He was an All-Star in 2008. And he also pitched the Angels' first solo no-hitter. Not that guy, not that other Santana. You're talking about Johan Santana, man. That guy pitched here for the Minnesota Twins. But this is another Santana who's doing very well. And they've been working hard to try to avoid that type of discrepancy here in Minnesota.
Speaking of discrepancy, a balk by Santana. He was that guy that balked. And you saw Paul Molitor and the home plate umpire Scott Berry discussing it. Santana asked to see what he had done. Looked like he got to the rubber and stood as if to go from the windup, but there was a runner at first and maybe realized late and didn't cleanly get off. So that could be a rather large mistake. It puts Realmuto in scoring position, and the 1-0 to Echeverria. So not Johan Santana and not Carlos Santana, who played the national anthem.
Wow, that was really good too.
Game 2, I believe, of the NBA Finals.
And his wife played the drums along with it.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Very nice. Echeverria fouls it back. Counts 1-2. An opportunity here. And Miami, having lost the ball games, both of them in the latter innings, would serve themselves well to gather up as much as they can on their way to those late innings. Echeverria, a little flare into right field, and it falls for a hit. Real Muto scores, and the balk is enormous now. And it's 2-0 Miami.
This ball is not even close to being a strike. That ball's almost on the ground near the line of the left-handed batter's box. And Echeverria is able to get the bat on it, dunk it out into right field. And you're right, Rich. That's a big balk because that moved JT Realmuto in the scoring position, and he scored.
And of course, Santana had the throwing error to first that moved Ichiro over to second. And here is Ichiro. If you're just joining us, please adjust the Ichiro bobblehead hit counter accordingly. 2-9-7-2.
I was out on the field doing his batting practice today, and man, he looked good swinging the bat. I thought he was going to get 30 hits tonight.
Look, I'm here to tell you, and I've read all these stories the last 3-4 days, and I love the idea of Madison Bumgarner in the home run hitting contest. I think Ichiro belongs there as well because, and Barry Bonds said this the other day, Ichiro would win it.
Yes.
High chopper, Mauer's got it. And we'll talk more about that when we return because I'm sure a lot of you are shaking your head going, not Ichiro. 2-0 Miami. Arguing his case in the dugout. He went to the rubber with a runner at first as if he was going from the windup. Watch him move his left foot first, and that's the key here. There's a runner at first, so he needs to get to the stretch. But once he picked that left foot up with his right foot on the rubber, that's a balk.
And the reason why that's a balk is when a pitcher is from the windup and he's a right-handed pitcher, his motion that starts his windup is with his left foot starting back. In order to step off the rubber cleanly and not get that penalty, you actually have to step off the other leg so that you're not deceiving the runner, so they say, so they know that you're clearly stepping off. And it's, of course, it's the opposite for a left-handed pitcher. They must disengage that left foot first.
So the Marlins have taken advantage of a couple mistakes by Santana. They have a 2-0 lead, and Kohler goes back to work and catches the corner against Trevor Plouffe with Brian Dozier and Byung-Ho Park for the Twins. It's a foul tip, and it caught part of the bat, and it is 1-2. And Plouffe doesn't believe it. He looks back at Scott Berry, shakes his head, Barry shaking his head. That's one where you almost have to listen to it rather than watch it.
Yeah, but if you're a hitter, you should feel that. I don't know how you're a hitter and you can't feel the ball graze your bat. Like, that's a...
Breaking ball misses out. And it's 2-2. If you want to run some numbers on Tom Kohler, go to his last 6 starts. The record's 1-3, but the ERA is under 3 at 2.87. And a big hop for Prado. The first out at first. Kohler now with 3 ground ball outs out of his 4. If you're a baseball fan, you need the Fox Sports app. It's all new. Get you highlights, interviews, injury updates, scores, instant alerts on your favorite teams and rivals. Download now in the App Store, Google Play, or visit foxsports.com. Here's Dozier now. This series opened on a Tuesday night, and we had emails and tweets, and there were a lot of questions about interleague play, National League, American League, who has the advantage. And we talked about the American League roster and how it is set up differently. And I talked with Don Mattingly about this today. And the focus oftentimes is on the designated hitter, because many American League teams are able to keep, and Paul Molitor was the beneficiary of that late in his career, able to keep a guy on their roster. A lot of times it's a big payroll, big poppy Alex Rodriguez type guy who really could not play every day in the field. So that American League team may have more bats or more power, more firepower than a National League team, which needs more versatility. The other nuance is this: if you're an American League team playing at home, you don't substitute as much as a National League team usually does. In the hole, Echeverria loads up and throws out Dozier. And so I think in this series we've seen the other side of why the American League has an advantage. And that is, American League teams can afford to have 8 guys in their bullpen because they don't use their bench as much as a National League team does, with double switches, pitchers hitting, and all of that. So it's tough for a National League team to adjust their roster to go from 7 to 8 relievers. If you're just coming in for 3 days, you don't want to ship a guy out for 2 weeks when you might need him in 4 days when you're back in a National League city. And the Twins have used it to perfection. They've had 13 different guys out of the bullpen. Well, not 13 different guys, but 13 relievers have come out of the bullpen. Juan Nieves and the Marlins have a more traditional 7-man bullpen. But Paul Molitor has used his pen extensively to his advantage and to help the Twins win and lock down the Marlins. From the 6th inning on, the Twins pen 10 innings, no runs and no walks. A total of 13 relievers. Toyota inside look. Now, if you're talking about in-game pitching changes, the Braves, Giants, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Marlins, and Twins pop up on that list. Brought to you by Toyota. Swing and a miss by Park. Real Muto catches it and tags Park out. And so the Twins are done here in the second. Tom Kohler looks sharp. It's 2-0 Miami. It's the third. Don Mattingly and the Fish up here in Minnesota. In Secaucus, when the Marlins were on the clock with the 7th overall pick, Braxton Garrett, left-handed pitcher out of Florence, Alabama. Rob Manfred at the podium. There's the selection, and joining us now is the president of baseball operations for the Marlins, Michael Hill, in the war room, the bunker. What are you guys calling your place of business tonight?
Just the draft room.
Ah, nice. Tell us about Braxton Garrett, Michael.
6'3", left-handed pitcher of Florence High School. Athletic, lightning quick arm, very repeatable delivery, mid-90s fastball, arguably the best curveball in the draft, and a plus changeup to go along with it. Just a complete pitcher, and that's why we're so excited. We like so many things about what he could do on the mound, and we were extremely excited that he was there for us at pick number 7.
Can you compare him to somebody either in the system, as Prado lines it to right, someone in the system or someone in the big leagues, not necessarily in potential or all that, but just in the way he throws and what you saw?
I think when you look at him and you look at his athleticism and his ability to repeat, someone that he was compared to just from a mechanics and body size in our room was a Cliff Lee type of pitcher, just athletic, and when you see him throw, and I'm assuming you guys are throwing some of his video up on the board, a very repeatable delivery, a power curveball, and a plus changeup to go along with that mid-90s fastball.
Michael, any other surprises for you in the first 10 or 12 selections of the draft?
Well, that's what's always interesting about this whole process. You just never know what you're going to be looking at when it's your turn to select. We had Stan Meek and his guys did a tremendous job. They scoured the country and identifying these guys and putting the big board together. And really, you just see how it unfolds. All the players that were picked in front of us were good players that we liked. But as we put it together, we were extremely excited to know that we had Braxton going there and available for us at 7.
Well, Mike, this is Preston Wilson here. Over the years in the draft, the talent goes up and down. Some years there's great talent all throughout. Some years it's less. Where does this year rank in the last few years as far as the talent pool in the draft?
Well, what's interesting, Preston, you know this as well as anyone, there's big leaguers that come out of all of these drafts, and your goal is to find more than anyone else. There's a lot of good talent at the top of the draft, and we'll get through the first round and the comp picks tonight. But really, in day 2 and day 3, there's big leaguers that are coming out of those on those days as well. So we're picking 40 rounds, and hopefully there's a lot of big leaguers in those picks.
Well, you talk about guys that aren't first-round picks that have success. One of those is at the plate right now for the Marlins, and Giancarlo Stanton. I know that was an interesting draft when you knew you had Stanton, but you thought you were going to get him early in the second, and you got him.
Exactly, and that's where you go with your guys, you go with your scouts, and the information that they have in terms of potential competitors that are on a player. We felt very good that we could get Giancarlo in the second round. We were able to, and that in any particular draft, you're just looking for as much talent, as deep as you possibly can. Be it Brian Ellington, who was a teen draft, or even an A.J. Ramos, who was drafted in the 20s. You're just looking to find as much depth and as much talent as you can, because as you see with those two guys, those are big leaguers that came through our system and are helping us win games.
How many names are on your list right now? I mean, do you have a database of how many players?
There are roughly, let me count here, roughly 8 boards, about 1,500 names.
Wow.
And it's just a wealth of information that our guys accumulate over the course. And it's not just the scouting season this year. I mean, we really try to identify and get to know these guys as early as possible. So you're following them when they're sophomores or juniors in high school and building that database because you want to have as much information as you can to make the most informed decision you can on draft night.
Michael, thanks for the visit. Congratulations on getting a good lefty at number 7 in Braxton Garrett. Thanks for the visit. And say hi to everybody in the draft room for us.
All right, guys, I will. And you guys score more runs and get us a W tonight.
All right.
We tried the first 2 nights, but we're hoping to bounce back here.
All right. We'll take
Michael.
the bounce back.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks.
All right, Michael Hill, president of baseball operations. Marlins draft Braxton Garrett, left-handed pitcher out of Florence, Alabama. And his, Michael Hill's scouting report lines up with a lot of what I've read about him. That is strike 3 called. And Giancarlo Stanton strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Ozuna left at first. 2-0 Miami. Miami on top of Minnesota. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. We are expecting another gorgeous sunset like we've had the first 2 nights here. Night falls a little later here in Minneapolis. I think sunset last night was around 8:50. Breaking ball strike to Oswaldo Arcia, Juan Centeno, and Byron Buxton for the Twins against Tom Kohler. Big shift. That's Prado over on the first base side. And Kohler misses with a fastball. Arcia got a start last night, couple doubles. Got a powerful swing. 25-year-old Venezuelan. And it runs in his family. His mom, captain of a Venezuelan softball team when she was younger. Count 3-1. So the Major League Baseball draft is tonight. Not a full schedule of games. One National League game has finished. Colorado beat Pittsburgh in Denver 11-5. The Mets are in Milwaukee and lead 2-0. Top 3. Nationals trail against the White Sox in Chicago 3-0. And that's in the bottom of the 3rd. Nice job by Kohler to come back and get the strikeout. Tom's retired the first 7 he's faced. There's your matchup tomorrow night, Nicolino and Corbin.
Kohler looks good tonight. Throwing good fastball strikes, putting guys away with that breaking ball, mixing a changeup here and there. I like what I'm seeing.
Marlins travel tonight. Justin Nicolino probably resting comfortably in the Marlins team hotel. Preston, I know you have numerous apps on your phone that tell you weather in different cities across the world. Do you have Phoenix or Scottsdale dialed in? And what are we to expect for 3 days?
As a matter of fact, I do have Phoenix dialed in, Rich. And Rich, let's just say it's going to be warm. We're looking at 108, 109 last time I checked. So you got to bring some light clothing. I hope you have some lightweight suits. I know you mentioned having the correct shoes on when you cross the street.
It's very important. So yeah, I'm looking at the same forecast on my phone. If you go to next weekend, instead of 104 or 102, it's 113. So there's that. Tom Kohler, outstanding start here in Minneapolis. 3 innings in, a 2-0 Miami lead.
Have been to Target Field since 2013, so we wanted to show you around the ballpark. Speaking of 2013, that's when the Budweiser roof deck was installed. We know it can get very cold here in Minneapolis, so one of the features includes a fire pit. So this is a great area where you can come and grab a drink, keep yourself warm. And how about this? Check out the view not only of the ballpark, but of downtown Minneapolis.
Now, where was that fire pit when we needed it in 2013? The Marlins were snowed out and then played a day-night doubleheader in temperatures near freezing in the mid-30s with a wind chill down in the high 20s. And of course, the obligatory flashback. Got to have a snowplow. Anytime a snowplow is on a baseball diamond, that's not good news.
Yeah, I didn't make that trip, Rich.
I expected Alan Page and Carl Eller to run onto the field once that tarp came off.
They might have felt at home, but I'm not really that don't really care for those sub-zero temperatures and all that kind of stuff. Zero, freezing, no.
Bohr beats the shift. He bounced one to the right of second his first time up, and that's where Plouffe was playing. This time he chased it over to the other side. Plouffe was still over first base side. And so Bohr's 1 for 2 as he leads off the fourth with a single.
He just hit it right through the shift. That should be a base hit all the time. I'm sorry, if the ball goes right over the mound that hard, it should be a base hit.
Here's Derek Dietrich, and he takes in. We mentioned the differences with the American League roster and how that can be advantageous in interleague play in American League parks. Tonight, I think one thing to keep an eye on and to think about, and I want your opinion on it. Giancarlo Stanton is obviously struggling. Marlin fans know that. Baseball fans know that. He's DHing tonight. What you want to do for a guy like Stanton, certainly, is to give him a night like this where it's not a complete night off, but he doesn't have to play the field. But when you're struggling, Preston Wilson, and I'm sure that you were the DH a few times in American League, were you not?
Well, I was a center fielder, so I never got a chance to DH. Most teams, they don't like taking their starting center fielder off the field.
Oh.
So if you're a center fielder, it's like a shortstop.
All right, well, never mind. Here's the 3-1 pitch to DJ.
But I know where you're going right there.
Right.
And I actually agree.
Fly ball in the corner, and it's into the seats. Grossman giving chase.
I agree. I think sometimes when a guy is struggling, the last thing he needs to do is DH. He needs to be out playing defense so that he's not spending that time in between at bats, spinning his wheels in his own head, thinking and guessing and trying to figure out. Some guys shouldn't DH. You know, some guys think too much. And sometimes we saw him take that fastball right down the middle for the third strike.
Busted bat and a slow roller. Bohr stops. The throw is high and ends up in the seats. Dietrich takes a left turn, and he's at second. And Brian Dozier, there's a lot of ways to play that as a second baseman, and that's probably not one of them. And Bohr may have gotten enough of a piece of him. Let's see if Bohr got enough to alter this throw, which is perfectly legal. No, Bohr just stood still. He very easily and had the right to run him right over.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the second baseman and you're charging that base runner like that, it's his baseline. You don't have a right to that baseline.
Until he has the ball.
Right.
Once he touches the ball, you can flatten him. So here's the interesting thing about tonight. Twice the Marlins have had a runner move from first to second. Once on a throwing error by Santana, once on a balk, and they both scored on hits. And so for the third time now, the Marlins have a runner at second. And this time it's a throwing error on Brian Dozier. Real Muto fouls it. JT singled back in the second. Two strikeouts, no walks for Santana. That stuns me. I know you were a National League guy, but I would think in an American League park, your manager would say, all right, Press, we can't give you a night off, but we're going to DH you, and you can have 4 ABs and drink Gatorade tonight.
Never happened.
That one's hit deep to left field. Grossman back at the wall, and he's got it. Boy, Real Muto got into it. Grossman bangs against the wall, and Dietrich races back to second.
Hit it good. Grossman does a good job there getting there.
Boy, great audio.
Really good.
You can hear the catch, and you can hear him hit the wall.
You can tell Grossman's still finding his way around out there in left field. You know, might have jumped a little early on that ball, but it's not easy out there.
Echeverria pop-up. Dozier is under it. And he makes the catch, and this time Miami can't chase home that run from second. Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Sun setting in Minneapolis. See the Target Center. Marlin fans got their sunglasses, their caps, and their shirts. A very large Marlin fan is someone we wanted to send out a special hello and a get well soon wish to, and that is Javier Perez, the principal of South Dade High School. If you follow things in and around Miami, you may have heard and read about just the tragic story. Perez coaching his son's Little League team on a field when a drunk driver came through and was headed right towards him. He pushed a couple people out of the way and was hit by that car and pinned up against a pole and lost both of his legs and has been in the Kendall Regional Medical Center in rehab. Was unable to attend the graduation. He's the principal at South Dade High School, and so he's a Marlins fan, and we hope that he's watching tonight, Preston. If he is, Javier, that's an extreme act of bravery, and now we hope that you, with some help from the community, are able to hang in there, get better, and get back to those kids who miss you so much. And that's a really tough thing. There is a GoFundMe page as well. I'm sure you can find it. Javier Perez is the name of the principal at South Dade High School. And our hearts and prayers and all of our support go to you. Tom Kohler, runner goes, and a little hit and run from Robbie Grossman. with Nunez sliding into second as that ball went up into the seats. Nunez with the first hit of the night and the first base runner of the night for the Twins. Now you've got Grossman with Mauer and Plouffe also due up.
I got to check to see if there was a peak right there by Nunez, because he had a good jump. And I don't know if it was a hit and run or a steal that Grossman just decided to hack on, but he had a good jump right there. That was a good jump by Nunez. I thought he had that bag pretty easily.
Grossman, one of 6 different Twins who has homered in this series. The switch hitter takes in. And he, like Nunez, getting a chance to play every day in the big leagues for really the first time. Was in Houston's organization. Played in 190 games over 3 years. Nunez has 12 stolen bases. Running again, and Grossman fouls it back again, and I think that's a straight steal. Oh, the Snakes, Marlins, and Diamondbacks. And it all starts with your South Florida Honda dealers presentation of Marlins Live. Jessica Blaylock at Chase Field, where there are no snakes. No, there are snakes. They're just Diamondbacks, and there's Baxter.
Gotta watch out for Baxter.
What is he, a coyote or something?
I think he's like a bobcat.
Yes. Probably because when the Diamondbacks looked in the mascot catalog, there was no snake to order. Right?
Well, how are you going to get somebody to play a snake, Rich? Snakes don't have legs.
That's what I'm saying. It would have taken a long time for the mascot race at that point. Grossman strikes out. Kohler, 4 strikeouts in the ball game. And here's Mauer. Let's see if Nunez is running in this at bat. He's leaning. Long wait. And that's exactly what Kohler wanted, was just to wait with it.
That's a good job by Kohler, because Nunez has gotten 2 really good jumps. So obviously he has read Kohler's move pretty well. So what do? You just don't move. You try to let that base runner settle. The longer they stay, the tighter they get, and they start settling into that stance, and then they have to call timeout eventually.
Joe Mauer in his career has put up incredible numbers. He is a career .313 hitter entering this season. I mean, you envision Mauer as a Twin for the rest of his career, but you wonder if it gets a little later and the Twins aren't any closer to the postseason. Runner goes. Realmuto's throw on a hop. Etch. Safe. Echeverria trying to short hop, get the pick and the tag.
But Nunez earned this stolen base, man. He'd gotten a couple good jumps on Kohler. This actual last one, he might, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to look at.
That is. That's worth a look or two. Watch the hand go over the bag and come off. And by then, his leg is up, and Etch has got the glove underneath it.
It's going to be worth the look.
So once the hand clears, it's off. Gloves on him. Ooh, the foot on still. And the Marlins are going to challenge it. That's really tight. This is one of those plays that is so close that you're not sure you're going to get 100% clear and convincing evidence. Fans get to look at it. Trip Gibson is the second base umpire. The protocol is crew chief, which is Jerry Lane on the right, and then the umpire that made the call. I guess the crew chief needs a wingman. Well, the hand goes over. The question is, and he keeps the glove on, does the toe get to the bag
before the hand comes off?
Yeah.
And my problem with this was I don't know if they have enough views to actually give you a clear look at it so that you can say it's definitive to turn it over.
Those are the two best looks. Those are the two super slow-mo looks that are available to both the Marlins telecast and the Twins telecast. Someday, the umpires in New York will also take any handheld devices that have good looks at the plays too. You can send that in. Hands on. When does the hand come off?
So it looks like the hand is coming off now, but does the hand come off before the toe nestles up against the base?
You see the dirt in between the toe and the bag. He's out. I think that in that last look, you can see dirt between the toe and the base.
So technically, that goes as a stolen base and a caught stealing because he was on the bag first, and he would have been safe, but then he came off the bag, and then he's out. Do you think that, or do you think they would just give it a caught stealing, Rich?
Not sure. That's a scoring. That's a question for a score, official score. My guess is it'll be a caught stealing.
See, I was leaning the other way.
As an overslide of the bag. Say you slide over the bag and get tagged out, you usually don't get credit for the bag.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, and I usually am. So
that's not true.
You might.
I was just under the impression that if you on the play, if you actually get to the base first, you're safe, and then if you come off of it by a secondary action, you're out.
And you know, I know that call went the Marlins' way. I would not shed one tear if Major League Baseball next year says, you know what, the play where the guy slides in and comes off the base by an inch. Mauer hits it deep, left center. Yelich calling, Yelich catching at the wall. And Tom Kohler with a little help from his friends and from a replay challenge keeps that 2-0 lead.
part is complete without checking out the food, which is why I made my way over to the State Fair Classics, especially considering that they offer Minnesota's signature dish of the walleye. Now, guys, I remember your orders from yesterday. Preston, you wanted the walleye. Rich, you wanted the Cuban sandwich so you could compare it to the one at Marlins Park. But Preston, I'm with you. I wanted to try the walleye as well, so let's go ahead and take a taste.
Thumbs up. So the walleye wins the taste test, but not the mascot race. The mosquito won the race tonight. The racing things, all things Minnesota.
I like the mosquito. It's a nice touch.
I'd like to see Goldie the Gopher in that race.
Oh,
The University of Minnesota mascot.
good call.
Yeah. Ichiro drives that one into right center field. Buxton is there. And he makes a catch. Ichiro single back in the first. He's now 28 away from 3,000. It's the first out of the fifth. The Fan Express, you can hop on board, bring your group to a Marlins game and bring them in style. It provides round-trip transportation to Marlins Park in a 30 or 50-person motor coach. It starts at just $40 per person. 877 Marlins or email groups@marlins.com. Martin Prado. Santana breaking ball for a strike. Single run in the first and another in the second with some help from Santana. Throwing error, trying to pick Ichiro off in the first, and a balk that moved Real Muto into scoring position. And Prado lifts another one to right field. Arcia makes the catch. Ball's not carrying tonight as we've seen it the first two nights.
Oh, definitely not. You can see that. We talked about the wind blowing a little bit in and across in the outfield. And the ball that JT Realmuto hit would have been a home run the first couple games of this series. And also the ball that Joe Mauer hit in his last at bat. Both of those balls I felt like would have carried out of the ballpark had this been one of the first two games of the series as opposed to tonight.
Now Yelich. Twice has bounced out. Grossman runs out of room. And it counts 2-1. Marlins and Diamondbacks tomorrow night, Friday, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And then on to San Diego. Another bouncer to short. Nunez has it. Irvin Santana has retired 6 straights. 2-0 Miami. Dodge is the presenting sponsor of Marlins baseball. The lakes of Minnesota. One of the great vacation spots in the Midwest in the summer months. Tom Kohler looks awful comfortable here tonight in the Twin Cities. Trevor Plouffe first up, and he pulls one foul. Brian Dozier, Young Hope Park as well. Kohler has limited the Twins to just a hit, and he has 4 strikeouts. Night is still falling. It takes a while here. Not yet. It's approaching 8:30, and there's still plenty of daylight to be had. But it is the witching hour, as Preston Wilson diagrammed last night, when it doesn't quite get all that dark above the lights.
It's getting close to that time. Really is. It's getting close to that time where once the sky darkens just a little, but not dark enough where there's a real contrast with the baseball, you'll see some awkward plays on balls hit above the rim of the stadium.
Good curveball by Tom Kohler. 5 strikeouts for Kohler. Great control tonight. Group tickets, anniversaries, fundraisers, awareness nights, birthdays. The list goes on and on. 1-877 Marlins. Go to marlins.com/groups and bring your group to Marlins Park for a personalized experience.
Dozier, an all-star last year, trying to get back to that form. Has some good power for a second baseman.
Pull side power, as you have said during the course of this series, and you can really see with that swing that left foot opens, and he violently tries to jerk it to the left side.
You don't see too many right-handed dead pull hitters, Rich.
Not anymore. Quicken Loans brings you Rocket Arms. Swing and miss percentage for the Marlins starters. Jose Fernandez is at a record clip. Adam Conley, Tom Kohler, Wei-Yin Chen, and Justin Nicolino. High pop. This could be trouble. Real Muto throws everything away and makes the catch. The helmet went one way. The mask went the other. Real Muto got it. And here is Young Ho Park. You just talked about an outfielder that sees the ball go up and it loses it above the lights. What about for a catcher like Real Muto, whose first look at the ball is above the lights?
Oh, it can happen for him too. I've seen catchers lose it when it gets that twilight. They call it twilight, the twilight time of day or time of night. And when you're in different time zones like we are here, and depending on where you are geographically in the country, that time is different. And as you noted earlier, it's a little bit later here. You know, and when you're further east you are, it gets darker soon, so it might be right after 7 when the sky gets dark. Here it's a little bit later.
It's kind of a bronze glow in the sky and in the air around downtown as the sun sets. This, for the most part, is an enclosed ballpark. The opening is in right field with the gates coming in from downtown Minneapolis in the right field corner, opening up to that corridor, which also has the Target Center, home of the Timberwolves. There it is. Now later tonight, the spot will be all lit up.
Well, he's happy. He's enjoying this game. Tails wagging.
Inside out swing. Tom Kohler has been splendid tonight. Even the dog approves.
By the main gate, because this is the perfect place to learn anything you want to know about the Twins organization. As you can see on this wall behind me, there are important facts and moments all throughout the history of the franchise. It starts in 1960 and runs all the way through 2015. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that in 1978, Rod Carew won his 7th batting title for the American League? Anything that you want to know about the Twins, you're going to be able to find it out here on this wall of history.
All right, thank you, Jessica. I want to know the words. Well, maybe I don't want to know the words to that the song that the Twins have had for so long. We're going to win, Twins, because they play it before the game, and the Marlins are hopeful that the Twins don't play it after the game. Marcell Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton, breaking ball. Ozuna goes after it. Ozuna's got a couple of hits. One was hit well, that RBI double in the left center gap in the first. The other was a little dribbler down the third base line for an infield hit in the third. Plouffe. Got him. And here comes Stanton. This franchise actually was the Washington Senators and then moved here, as Jessica pointed out, moved to Minneapolis and had success in the 60s. It was a great World Series in 1965. A 7-game World Series loss to the Dodgers. Sandy Koufax threw a 3-hit shutout in Game 7. Those were the Jim Cott, Mudcat Grant Twins in terms of the starting pitching. Stanton takes down low. Giancarlo has struck out twice. Swinging in the first, looking in the third. And as I recall, there's a few versions of that song. One is the old time, 60s Twins. The other is kind of an upbeat, almost a up with people version. Stan strikes out for the 3rd time. And the struggles continuing tonight for Giancarlo.
I tell you, Rich, I think you were dead on, and I 100% agree with you. When a guy's struggling and in his own head like Stanton is, the last thing you need is to sit down and have all that time to think in between at bats. He needs to be on the field, engaged in the defense, you know, having something else to think about and occupy his mind than just sitting on that bench worrying about the at bats or how things are going.
Bohr takes a fastball for a strike. Justin has hit 2 balls up the middle, one to the right of second, and that's where Trevor Plouffe is playing, and the other just to the left of second, and that went for a hit. All right, we found it. Here you go, Press. I won't sing it.
Please sing it, Rich.
We're going to win, Twins. We're going to score. We're going to win, Twins. Watch that baseball soar. Knock out a home run. Shout a hip hooray. Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today. That and Herb Carneal's voice, John Gordon, great radio voices in Twins past. Minnie and Paul. Games at the Met. Kirby Puckett up on the glass in left center in the World Series. 2-2. That's a high shot to left. Grossman settles and makes a catch. 2-0 Miami. In Minnesota tonight, Tom Kohler and the Fish carrying a 1-hit shutout into the bottom of the 6th, and that one pulled on the ground foul off the foot of Oswaldo Arcia. Juan Centeno and Byron Buxton will follow, and that can't feel good.
Yeah, that looks off the toe. Direct contact off the bat, no bounce on the ground, straight to the toe. That hurts worse than that middle of the night walk, Rich, in the bedroom, and you kick the furniture. It hurts worse than that.
Well, I don't know about that, Press, because at least if you're playing, you can walk it off and run it around. You can't really run around your hotel bedroom at night, can you?
Why not?
Well, maybe you can. You get the big sweet.
Hey, don't hold back, Rich. You just got to let it out.
But a guy like me, I get the smaller, you know, cubby broadcaster.
Yeah, right.
1-1 pitch. The Cub reporter room is the one that I get. I know that you're still in the big suite.
I will say this, though, Rich. I have actually kicked my toe so hard one time, I had to get up to go to the bathroom. I just laid back down in the bed. I didn't even go. It hurt so bad. I just, you know what? Forget it. I'm just laying down.
Two. Good fastball. And Tom Kohler is dealing tonight.
This is the best command I've seen Tom Kohler have in a long time. His fastball has been right where he wants it. The curveball has been good. It's been an out pitch. And oh my, what do we got here? Hi, Jess.
Asking right now,
Here,
can you tell?
Thank
Thank you. Let's see. We've got a Cuban sandwich that would be for Rich.
Thank you.
And we've got the walleye for Preston.
I call this walleye voila.
And ye shall receive.
Now this is from Tony Oliva's great twin. Tony Oliva's Cuban sandwich stop. And what twin endorses the walleye? Is that Kent Herbeck?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Gary Gaetti?
Sounds great. You know what? I would have answered the question for everyone earlier on how I liked the walleye. I know I didn't say anything after I took the bite, but did you see how big of a bite I took?
Yeah.
That was the problem. I was unable to talk about how much I liked the walleye. So I hope you like it as much as I do.
And the walleye likes you.
It definitely liked me back. Yes, it was delicious.
All right, well, thank you.
You got it.
What do you like in this ballpark? This is your first time here. Is there one thing that has stuck out?
I love the fact that the ballpark is surrounded by downtown Minneapolis. You can see the buildings. It's just a beautiful view anywhere you look. I wish we came to this ballpark more often because I've really enjoyed it so far. Downtown Minneapolis is absolutely beautiful. The ballpark is spectacular. The weather is great. I love it.
Echeverria on to first, and Kohler continues to mow down the Twins.
Now, as far as atmosphere, what have they done to incorporate the old Twins with the new Twins? I saw the wall, the legacy line down there with the wall. Are there any other things around the ballpark that lend itself to bringing in the old culture with the new?
Yeah, I think one of the things that you guys have continually pointed out, which is the Twins logo, the old school logo right in front of us. And like you mentioned, that wall, that legacy wall that's got the history of the franchise when it began in 1960, kind of the fun facts and the significant moments that have taken place throughout the course of the franchise. So that's another nice thing about this. It's a ballpark that was built in 2010, but there's so many reminders of the old times of the franchise. So it's cool, kind of that old meets new.
And, you know, I was kidding, but not really. Kent Herbeck does have a place down below.
Yes,
Herbeck, the former, there he is, there's Herbie. I think that's the place where you can get like a burger in a beer or something to that effect.
Yeah, it's something unique where they stack a burger on top of.
I thought it was a Bloody Mary that has a chicken wing in it that has a burger in it.
There you go.
So obviously, if you're watching your calorie intake for the day, you're definitely going to want to get one of those.
Yes.
Well, Kent Herbeck never did that as a Twin. Into right, Ichiro not going to get it, and it lands for a hit. And that's the first hit for Byron Buxton. All right, Jess, thank you for the food. And we'll see you later on in the ballgame.
Sounds good. Let me know what you think.
Will do.
Will do. Jessica Blaylock will be hosting Marlins Live from right here, Target Fields in Minneapolis. Here is Nunez now. That's just the second hit that Kohler has given up in 5 2/3 innings. He has struck out 6. He's walked nobody. Kohler really with the great control his last start, walking just 1. And here's Nunez, who has 2 homers in the series. Up the middle, over Kohler. Dietrich gathers and got no one. Buxton can fly, and once Dietrich got the ball, he didn't have the play at second. I think he thought he was going to.
You got to know your base runners. Look now, that's a really good secondary by Buxton. That makes this play. Watch him just when he's taking off the back. See him gaining ground. That's a secondary lead. That makes this play. And Dietrich, I don't know if he saw it or couldn't get it, but that made his choice limited to only first base. And Nunez runs very well, as you said, with those 12 stolen bases this year.
And so you got speed on now for Minnesota. And Kohler has to face Robbie Grossman. So a bloop hit to right, an infield hit up the middle. Right center and deep and off the wall. Buxton scores. And Nunez scores. And here come the Twins again. 6th inning and later in this series. The Twins have now scored 8 runs, and the Marlins just 1.
Yeah, it's a shame. Kohler's pitched so well. You know, you said he had control tonight, which I thought may have been his best control and command I've seen of the season. Not only was he throwing strikes, he was throwing strikes right where he wanted to, putting guys away. Unfortunately, it's a tie ball game right now, but we're going to pitch around Mauer and give him a chance to work out of this inning. And what's even better is Kohler's only got 7. That was a 79th pitch right there.
And I'll tell you what, the top of the order for the Twins, Nunez and Grossman, who have been so hard to control, rising up here. Nunez with a couple of hits, Grossman with the RBI double. And this is going to bring Plouffe to the plate. Don Mattingly looking up. He addressed it today with the media, and that is the Marlins' woes from the 6th inning on, not only in this series but also this season.
Yeah, you know, as a player, you have to look at your preparation for the relievers. Do you understand the type of stuff they have? Are you doing enough homework, understanding what they like to go to in strikeout situations, what they like to go to in in scoring position? There's a whole litany of things that you have to make sure that you're aware of, because relievers, you really only get one at bat against them. You're not going to get 2 or 3 cracks at them to try to figure them out. You get one at bat, so you have to be as prepared as possible for that interaction.
Mauer intentionally walked. Kohler struck Plouffe out his last time up. So this is beginning to look familiar for Miami. Take an early lead. Twins have come back to tie it. And all Kohler can do is continue to make good pitches. And Plouffe fouls it at the plate. This is the most stress that Kohler has been under, not only in number of pitches, but with runners in scoring position. Gave up his first hit in the 4th. Runner going to third, the throw, and in there on a wild pitch is Grossman. Twins have been aggressive in their base running in this series, and that's a great secondary and a good jump by Grossman. Miami's bullpen is up with Kyle Barraclough and Mike Dunn. Tom Kohler got the first 2 outs of this inning. Buxton's blooper landed in front of Ichiro in right. Nunez bouncer up the middle, and Dietrich had it behind the bag. But a great jump by Buxton forced Dietrich to go to first, and he did not get Nunez, who beat it out for a hit. And then Grossman blasted one off the wall in right center field.
It's a great example of good base running. Proper base running extends an inning because it made a tough decision for the second baseman. And that ended up being the reason why Grossman was able to get to the plate this inning. I see so many base runners lazy on the bases, not getting good secondary leads. And it's not just because you're fast. You don't have to be fast to get a good secondary lead and be a good base runner. Paul O'Neill was not fast by any means, but was one of the better base runners of his area. He always did the little things on base, and he wasn't that fast.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Now a 2-2 game. Hard but foul. Of course, in the first 2 games of the series, Paul Molitor went to his bullpen early and often. 13 different relief appearances in the first 2. Dietrich on to first in time. Tom Kohler deserved a better fate in that inning. As the Twins have tied it, it is 2-2. Is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Checkers, fast foodies know the deal. Tom Kohler, Irvin Santana, almost dead even on the pitch count, on the earned runs, but I think certainly different in the way they've pitched tonight. Kohler has been splendid. The Twins getting a couple of runs in the 6th after 2 were out. And both hits were good pitches. Both hits were not ones that will show up on StatCast for any exit velocity. Now it's incumbent on Miami to do something here. Max Kepler is in the ball game, and Kepler is out in right field.
Yeah, you got to think that ball that Arcia fouled off his foot has some lingering effects.
On Marlins Live, we talked about the Marlins' struggles, 7th inning on, and where it compares in Major League Baseball. Their run differential is -34, and that's almost last in Major League Baseball. 30 teams in the Major League, so 28. And we even went a step further in talking about this series in particular. The 6th inning on, the Twins have 8 runs and the Marlins have just 1 in this series. And Minnesota's pen has been perfect. 10 innings, no runs, and no walks. Dozier went down to get it and just gets Dietrich.
That's a nice play from Dozier. This ball hit really well. Laced one hop, and Dozier pops up so quickly from that backhand, is able to get a throw to beat Dietrich. So one thing is to catch it, the other thing is to be able to pop up quickly, get lined up so you can make an accurate throw. Dozier did a good job right there.
Real Muto now singled and flied out. I think the different feel to this game is that Santana's pitched well after giving up the 2 early runs, and Paul Molitor doesn't have to run in a reliever every 2 hitters. In fact, the other night he was running in a reliever every hitter. 7 out of the bullpen in game 1, 6 out of the bullpen in game 2.
Santana still got good velocity. That fastball 92.
Well, there's action in Miami's pen right now, and Real Muto has his 2nd hit, pulls it into left, and here comes Echeverria. And the action in Miami's pen tells us that Tom Kohler's night is probably done. Kyle Bearclaw is in Miami's bullpen.
You might be right. I think that the play when they did not get the out on the Eduardo Nunez at bat really extended his pitch count, because he was right at 78 at that point, and then he got up close to 90 if he didn't get quite to 90 in that last frame.
You're right, not quite to 90, 89.
Right.
Echeverria looking down at Lenny Harris. Real Muto, the runner, at first. Etching to right, that's a hit. So the bottom of the Marlins order puts together a couple of singles. And before Ichiro gets comfortable, a reminder that the MLB.com ballpark app is perfect when you go to Marlins Park or any Major League park. Gets you a map of the ballpark, menus. You can order food from your seats, even put your tickets on your phone. Check in with the ballpark app. You get special offers and gifts. MLB.com ballpark app today. Eric Rasmussen, the interim pitching coach, is on his way out to the mound, and now the Twins bullpen has double barrel action. And Ichiro is up. Ichiro has swung the bat well in the ball game. He's 1 for 3, lined out to deep right center his last time up. Earlier in the game, we were talking about the home run derby in the All-Star game in San Diego. A lot of the news this last 5-6 days has been about Madison Bumgarner, and it would be a lot of fun to see Bumgarner compete.
I don't think. I mean, I know just for the.
His home run rate, Preston, is better than I think anybody in baseball.
I agree. I know he's got a lot of home runs in his last 100 or so at bats.
And where I went earlier was this guy. If you put Ichiro in the home run hitting contest, and I asked Barry Bonds this the other day, and Bonds said Ichiro would win it. Because if you've had a chance to watch Ichiro take BP, when fouled off, you know that Ichiro will pump balls into the seats endlessly.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he can just go around, and 7 swings, 6 can leave the ballpark if he wants to.
San Diego's got that right field porch, that little corner. Breaking ball is up from Santana. It's 2-1. But I think it would be fun. Yeah, you have the regular sluggers there, but throw Bumgarner on one team, throw Ichiro on the other, and the entertainment value for me would go way up. I would actually watch at that point. Ichiro into right center. That's a base hit. Rounds third comes Real Muto. He'll score. Echeverria around second. He arrives at third. And this guy is incredible. He just keeps hitting. He's 2 for 4 in this ball game. He's got 7 hits in the series, and he gives Miami a 3-2 lead. And look at that, 2,973. He is 27 hits away now from 3,000.
So he had a great BP, Rich. Everything he hit was right on the nose. His body looked so under control. His hands stayed back. It doesn't always translate into a good game, but you can tell he's feeling good with the bat right now.
And that's going to be it for Ervin Santana. Paul Molitor makes his first appearance out on the mound. A West Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Ichiro has given Miami a 3-2 lead. You can count on your Ichiro countdown shirt, but any way you count it, Ichiro has crept within 27 hits of 3,000 with 2 more hits here tonight. He is 7 for 14 in the series. And Ichiro and the rest of the fish are headed towards the setting sun, to the desert in Phoenix, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, and then San Diego. We love San Diego. Dick Enberg always has a really nice pocket square. We'll autograph a ball for you. Night games on Monday and Tuesday, afternoon game on Wednesday. Trevor May, who appeared last night. He was one of 6 relievers in relief of Ricky Nolasco. And the amazing thing was, it was a 9-inning game, and Nolasco pitched to 2 outs into the 6th. That's amazing.
Yeah, you would think when you hear 6 relievers that he came out in the 2nd inning.
Prado takes a strike. Martin Prado has hit the ball in the air 3 times, and all 3 times it's been out to right field. He went. It's a strike. Ichiro at first, and Chavarria is at third. A chance to add on for Miami here. May, who has missed some bats this year, tied for third in the American League. In the dirt, here comes Etch, and he scores. And Miami gets a big run here in the seventh on a wild pitch. Ichiro resides at second. And the Twins certainly haven't helped themselves tonight. That balk, the throwing error, led to 2 runs, and now a wild pitch.
And if you're Paul Molitor, the disheartening part about that is he had Martin Prado in a 0-2 count, and you wild pitch to run home.
Up and in, and Prado takes a seat. Ichiro runs, and Prado swings and misses. Or did he foul it? I guess he got a piece of it. It was a foul tip.
I would have been close.
In the gap left center field. Prado's going to drive home another. Ichiro will score, and Martin Prado's double makes it 5-2 Miami.
Good job by Prado hitting this ball in the gap. With 2 strikes, I really didn't like that base runner moving out there when he's at second base. I want to just kind of concentrate on the ball. Right there, Ichiro stays. Prado puts a nice swing on it, laces it in the gap for a double. And the Fish have scored some 7th inning runs, Rich.
Yep, that's we talked about that once the ball game got to 2-2. A lot of times you focus on a bullpen if you're giving up runs or you have that negative differential late, but the offense somewhat to blame as well. And so some late inning runs. It's got to make Tom Kohler feel a lot better because he deserved better than the 2 runs the Twins got in the bottom of the 6th. Now Yelich has a chance to add on. He takes a change up for a strike. Bearclaw has been up and has warmed up. Yelich has been on the ground all night. Twice to short, once to first. There's an 8-game hit streak, not extended. One and 2. This is game number 60 on the season for Miami. Trying to climb back to 2 over. May trying to catch the corner. 2-2 to Yelich. That Mets Brewers ball game is in the bottom of the 6th. The Mets have a 2-0 lead. Nationals still trail the White Sox 3-1 bottom 7. sprayed foul. Marlins open play 6 back of the Nationals and 2.5 back of the Mets. Yelich to left. That's pretty well hit. Grossman goes back, looks up, and it's off the wall. Round third, and scoring is Prado, and Yelich makes it 6-2 and extends his hit streak to 9 games. Double number 17 for Yelich, and the Marlins get to Minnesota's bullpen here, something they had not done the first 2 nights.
That's a good sight to see. Yelich has had a few at-bats in this series. We're not quite looking like himself. That's a good one. He stayed on the ball, drove it hard the other way, picks up an RBI, and more importantly, another run to extend this lead for the Marlins.
Marcell Ozuna's 2 for 3. Ozuna RBI double, single, and a ground out. 11 hits for Miami, just 4 for the Twins. Ozuna after that high fastball. Now 71 hits. He and Gene Segura chasing Daniel Murphy. Major League draft going on tonight. The Marlins got a high school lefty out of Alabama. Braxton Garrett.
Here's a look at Braxton Garrett, the 6'3", 190-pounder. From Florence, Alabama, went to Florence High School. Got a really quick arm, good fastball, and one of the things I was surprised and amazed to hear Mike Hill say that he's got a polished changeup already. You don't usually see an 18-year-old kid with a good changeup.
Ozuna cracks one into center field. That's a hit. Yelich round third. He's going to score. And Trevor May has come in. And the Marlins haven't missed a beat. Here comes Stanton now, and he won't get to face May. Molitor's on his way out to get him.
Stanton's like, you got to be kidding me. Everybody's hitting this guy. Give me a chance. I could use a knock right now.
So May exits. Twins back to the bullpen. Wes Kendall Toyota call to the pen.
Griffey swings. There it goes. Long fly ball right field. It is a number 600 for Ken Griffey Jr. A no-doubter about halfway up in the lower deck and right. Ken Griffey Jr.
On this day in 2008, at the old football stadium against the Marlins, Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 600th career home run. The first inning homer against Mark Hendrickson, number 600. Longtime Reds radio voice Marty Brennan on the call. Giancarlo Stanton now gets the lefty Taylor Rogers. Marcell Ozuna resides at first. Miami has poured across 5 runs here in the 7th. Rogers misses outside. Stanton struck out swinging in the 1st and the 6th, looking in the 3rd. And so there's the DH tonight. It's been a long night for him. To put Miami's season in context, you lose D. Gordon, batting champ, stolen base champ, Gold Glover, to the drug suspension, and to have Stanton slumping like this and yet still be over 500. I mean, that's good news, bad news. The bad news is there's no Gordon until what, the end of July, and Stanton right now is a non-factor. That's the bad news. The good news is the ball club is still over 500. That's strike 3 called. Backdoor breaking ball, and Stanton has struck out for the 4th time tonight.
Yeah, this has been a rough one. But I will go back to the point again. I think him DHing he's got way too much time to think about these at bats, what's going on. You don't usually see the catcher get a call when he has to dive out there, but the umpire made the right call. The ball definitely crossed the plate.
Yeah, it's got the plate. Chris Johnson will get the at bat for Justin Bour. Johnson facing the lefty Rogers. Johnson hits it to right field. Kepler looks up and it's gone. Chris Johnson found the little porch into the flowers just above the limestone, and a home run for Miami. And the Marlins have a really big inning here. Johnson a pinch hit 2-run homer. But that's just the exact spot to hit it.
Well, it had that good sound.
At the point where it goes out, that's about 5 feet out from the wall on the overhang. Pinch a penny, pinch hitter, without question. Now Miguel Rojas. There's a look at that little porch. Rojas lines one to left, and that's going to get in there. Grossman can't make the catch. Rojas, big turn, heads back to first. And the Marlins have yet another hit this inning. Eight hits in the inning. 2 pinch hits here by Johnson and Rojas. This is sort of a cathartic rally for the Marlins. We showed you how the Marlins had been outscored dramatically from the 7th inning on. 28th in baseball in run differential from that point on in games. And so what do? They come out and hang 7 on the board in the 7th. They are trending upward right now.
Yes, they are.
Real Muto has a hit this inning. 11th man to the plate. And a strike. And the other thing about this inning, not only the Marlins scoring late runs, Miami finally hit a home run. And that was Chris Johnson. The Marlins, including this game, 5 homers in 13 games. For a club that had been hitting home runs at a pretty good clip. And hits Real Muto. Breaking ball, clipped him on the foot. And Echeverria comes up. 12th man to the plate. This inning is going so long that Preston may finish his walleye before the 7th inning stretch.
They might. It's this inning has gone on a while. I keep trying to break off a little piece and think that it's coming, but hey, I'll enjoy the rally. I don't mind eating cold fish for a fish rally.
It's a walleye rally. We might want to see if there's walleye you can order in Phoenix tomorrow night.
I'm eating all this walleye. I might get on the bus looking a little walleyed after the game. Somebody just direct me to my seat.
Marlins will not arrive in the Valley of the Sun until probably 2-3 a.m. Well, the inning ends with a line drive out. How about the fish? They hang a large crooked number up on the scoreboard here. 7 in the 7th. Late inning blues with 7 runs in the 7th. Chris Johnson is now at first. Miguel Rojas is now to second base. Mike Dunn takes over for Tom Kohler.
I like this. I like Dunn getting an outing, an appearance where no pressure. Just come back, feel good about being on the mound. You don't have runners in scoring position or the game on the line. This is that soft landing that you like to mention, Rich.
Everybody says I like to mention a soft landing, and I have on occasion. Craig made that note last night too. I hope we have a soft landing.
You know what it is? It's such a unique phrase that I think when someone hears it, it just automatically gets attributed to you.
Well, I guess there are worse things that you can attribute to me.
It's good. We like having words in our business to explain something differently, because we talk so much and we say so many different things, and we need different ways to express it. And that's one way to express coming into a game in a no-pressure situation.
It's like Mike Emmerich announcing a hockey game He has about 200 different words to describe the movement of the puck.
Yeah, they said they went back through one of the games and they cataloged it, and it was like 120 something different ways he said to either pass or shoot the puck in one game. They actually counted.
He is the absolute best at that sport. Although our own Goldie isn't bad.
Oh, right.
Goldie is doing Stanley Cup radio, so he gets to do the national radio telecast. That's a great honor and well deserved. Not to be confused with Goldie the Gopher here in Minnesota. Although the Gophers can play hockey. Great tradition of college hockey here in Minnesota. Brian Dozier was done walking him. Now, the Marlins have a 7-run lead. And what Don Manning, I'm sure, would like is not to have to heat everybody up to try to shut this thing down. So Dozier walks. Here's Byung-Ho Park. Mets still leading Milwaukee 2-0, bottom 7. Nationals still losing 3-1 in the 9th in Chicago against the White Sox. Dunn misses in. And a strike. Two balls, two strikes. And Dunn with a good live fastball at 94. Gets Park. Max Kepler came in, remember, for Oswaldo Arcia after Arcia fouled one off his foot. And this for Kepler is his first at bat. 19,000 at the ballpark. 18,792. Kepler a strike. Really interested to see how Max Kepler's major league career unfolds. One of the scholarships he was offered as a teen was not to play college baseball. It was to the Steffi Graf Tennis Academy. A terrific tennis player growing up in Berlin. Sends that one out into right center field. Ichiro in the gap runs it down and makes a catch.
Every time I see Kepler, I want to say Lars Kepler. He's an author that I really like. I have to fight to remember Max Kepler. Lars Kepler wrote the book The Hypnotist, really good mystery thriller. Just in case you got some time, Rich, check it out.
That's all right. I like Max, you like Lars.
I like Max too. Come on.
All right. And I'll check the book out just for you.
Thank you.
It's a 10-0. Twins catcher has bounced out twice. Dunn gets a strike, counts 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down, bottom 7. Marlins trying to get a win and get out of town and get ready for Arizona tomorrow night. Diamondbacks have the night off. Marlins will get in around 2:30 if everything goes as planned. Arizona losing to the Rays 6-3 yesterday. Marlins followed the Rays in here. And then the Rays went to Arizona. The Marlins right behind them. I don't believe the Rays are going to San Diego. That's where the Marlins go next. Centeno. Left-handed hitting Puerto Rican catcher. To left, and it's Yelich who's there, and he makes the catch. Mike Dunn handles the 7th. Ichiro tries to keep that climb to 3,000 going.
Nine to 2. Be sure to keep it right here for our Marlins Live postgame show presented by Checkers. I will be hosting live from the field. I'll give you a full recap of the Major League Baseball draft from today, including everything you need to know about the Marlins' 7th overall pick. Also, 7th heaven. The Marlins have been looking for runs late in the game, and that is exactly what they got in that 7th inning. That is all coming up on our Marlins Live postgame show presented by Checkers. Guys?
We may want to stop in Vegas before the Marlins get to Arizona, right? I mean, night where the Marlins have the 7th overall pick. There's Phil Hughes. The Marlins score 7 runs in the 7th inning.
Yeah, let's do that, Rich. Let's stop in Vegas.
Let's do that. Here is Ichiro, who's 2 for 4, has scored 2 runs. He's driven in a run in each of the 3 games. And the hit counter keeps getting lower and lower. 27 shy of 3,000. That one flipped foul and out of play. And how many hits does Ichiro have in the series? He has 7. If you go back a game, he is 8 for his last 15. And he strikes out here.
Well, he didn't want to mess up that 7th thing we got working, Rich.
No, he didn't.
You know how aware Ichiro is. He knows everything. He probably had that calculated.
He really is having a terrific year, and not just, I mean, we do it, and I'm sure other people do it. Focus on the chase to 3,000. But you look at his batting average and his on base percentage. Very careful with those bats. He's having an outstanding season.
Yeah, a lot of guys limp to that 3,000 mark. He's on a dead sprint right now.
Well, look, we've made the comparison in this series between Ichiro and Paul Molitor. Molitor was a guy that burst right through it while having some nice years here in Minnesota to finish his career. Prado shoots it into right and then kept on going. Molitor amassed over 3,300 hits. 3,000th hit for Paul Molitor. As a twin in the gap, and of course a triple. Known for his base running and speed as well. Swiped 504 bases. Now the skipper of the Twins.
I mean, obviously he would have gotten 3,000 anyway, but I'm a little angry at that outfield right there. You know, I'm about outfield play, Rich.
Well, my guess is he hit a couple line drives at people.
Probably so.
Earlier,
knowing him.
Earlier in the game. Yelich into right field. And so Yelich has 2 hits his last 2 at bats. Marlins add a couple more into their hit total. And here comes Marcell Ozuna. One number that is also worthy of discussion, although Ichiro is not one that likes to discuss it, is the combination of his hits in Japan with the ones here. Ozuna has got a hit into right field. Prado around third. He's going to score. And Miami has their 10th run of the night. Ozuna's got 4 hits. He's 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs.
Oh, that was a good looking one right there. That's a nice approach, nice and quiet with the hand, stays on that ball beautifully. And that one scoots by Brian Dozier.
Here is Stanton. Ichiro's not one that likes to add the Japanese hits with the major league hits. In comparison to Pete Rose, Stanton swings and misses, and it's been a long night for Stanton. He has struck out 4 times. Stanton up the middle. Dozier flips. And Nunez turns to get the double play. Miami picks up another run and leads it in Minnesota 10-2. 10-2. Miami on top of Minnesota. Bottom 8. Justin Nicolino probably already enjoying Scottsdale. A nice quiet evening. Patrick Corbin goes for the Snakes, and that is tomorrow night. First of 3 in the deserts. Dustin McGowan now takes over. Mike Dunn handled the 7th. This was a Tom Kohler start. After 2 are out in the 6th inning, the Twins scratched out 2 runs. Kohler pitched quite well. And obviously is in line for the win. His defense didn't help him out in that 6th, so it's nice to get him some runs in the top of the 7th. I think the encouraging thing about watching Kohler's last start and tonight, much better control. Fastball command was really good. Walked 1, struck out 6. And the 1 walk was an intentional walk. Which we've had this discussion before. I feel should not be included in a pitcher's walk total.
You might be right. I think that's a good call.
I mean, how would you feel as a hitter if your manager told you to intentionally strike out? Would you want that reflected in your totals?
I agree. I think the intentional walk should have its own category and not be listed with the walks. I do.
Buxton strikes out. There are some people probably happening by and see that it's a 10-2 ball game, and we're hoping that Giancarlo had knocked in a couple runs. We've not had the 10-run reel on yet this year. And this would be a good time to have it on, Press.
Yeah, it would.
We do have a few new additions this year that were acquired over the off season. We do pay an awful lot of money to acquire rare footage. Our producer John Solser travels the globe in the off season looking for that rare footage, whether it's Korea, Asia. Ichiro's there and he makes the catch. So McGowan has a couple of outs. We got through the discussion, but not all the way to the end about Ichiro and Pete Rose. Ichiro with 2 hits is now 5 from unofficially tying Rose's major league record of 4,256. It's not something that Ichiro, whenever people ask about it, Ichiro very deferential and with great respect for Pete Rose does not claim that his numbers equal that. But people write it and we talk about it. One, I guess, nuance to that is that Ichiro had 1,278 hits in 9 seasons with the Oryx Blue Wave. And remember, the schedule over there is not as many games as Major League Baseball. 162. Generally, I believe 140, 142.
Yes, it's a good 20 games shorter in Japan.
That one is just out of the reach of Johnson. Did Rose ever play in any 154 game seasons?
I don't know. I don't think
he
did.
Early in his career?
He might have early, but I know at the end definitely not. It had changed by then. That'd be something good to look up to see if.
That's why we have researchers.
Well, we might have to get the crack staff on that to try to get that question answered.
So lazy announcers like me could just throw something out without
doing the legwork.
Without doing the legwork. Well, legwork's hard in the middle of the game. Fastball's a strike. All right, baseballreference.com. Let's see how quickly I can get there on the iPad. That is a foul tip into the glove of Real Muto. A strikeout from McGowan. Twins are done. And that gives me 2 minutes to look up Pete Rose. To put up this amount of runs. The Marlins have not had many, if any, blowout wins like this. And so a loose dugout. And the ninth inning has arrived. Chris Johnson is up. Phil Hughes, not related to Pat, throws a strike to Johnson. Johnson homering to right, a pinch hit homer in the 7th. Hughes has had his struggles here in Minnesota. All right, here's what I found with extensive iPad research. Pete Rose, his rookie season was 1963. At the age of 22, he played 157 games. The National League had gone from 154 games to 162 in 62. So Rose missed that by 2 years, the 154. The odd thing that extensive research has unearthed is that the American League went to 162 games the year before the National League did, in 61. Unless my sources are incorrect. I'm pretty confident. We've double and triple checked. Here now is Rojas.
We'll have to check out when the team started expanding more. Maybe that would coincided with the extension of their schedule.
Well, 62 was Mets, right?
Okay, that's right.
What about Angels? When did the Angels arrive in 61 or 62? Colt 45s then as well. To left, Rojas muscles up, and he gets to a few feet shy of the warning track. You're making me work here in the night.
I'm sorry, Rich.
That's all right. The Senators. Oh, that has a Twins twist to it. Because
just so everybody at home knows, Rich just gave me a really dirty look.
Oh, come on. No, I didn't. You're my buddy. Ow!
Oh, and
that hits muscle. Hughes, and he goes down, and Real Muto is safe.
Oh.
And let's hope that Hughes is okay. Oh, wow.
That's not good.
No. Real Muto's third hit of the ball game. And Hughes is down and in a great deal of pain.
It got him somewhere in the lower body, looked like, and he just went down in a heap.
It looked like left leg, the inside part of the leg. Hughes, whose ERA is just under 6, has struggled in 11 starts. In relief. Yeah, that left leg. Looked like he was holding just above the knee.
Wow. I mean, these are some big guys that play in the big leagues, and with all the adrenaline going, if you get hit and you go down immediately, that means that it really got you good. Because usually you can make it through the play and then you go down, but
he's able to put some weight, but not a lot on it. No time to react. It's one thing to move your glove at a ball, but when it's down at your legs like that. And let's hope that Hughes is okay. The Twins will bring someone out of their pen. That's 106 miles an hour off the bat. And the Twins will have as much time as they need to warm up their next reliever. That appears to be Buddy Boshears. We'll take a timeout. 10-2 Miami here. Here's the 7th inning for the Fish with a couple on. Ichiro started things. RBI single. Marlins had their first run. A little wild pitch. That scored a Danny Echeverria. Second run, Martin Prado. RBI double. Ichiro scores. Third run. Christian Yelich. Fourth run comes home on a double. Marcell Ozuna has been hot. He's got 4 hits. This one drove in a run. And then the last 2, runs 6 and 7, came on this home run. Conveniently located in the little porch in right field. That a big inning for the Fish. For Don Mattingly, one of the first real laughers for the Marlins. Almost all of their wins have been tight 1, 2, 3-run wins. Boshears has all night if he chooses to take it to get ready. Hopefully Buddy will be ready soon. We'll try to get your report on Phil Hughes. All right, back to the games number in Japan and in the United States. That's how we got into the schedule and expansion, because we were talking about Ichiro, who played 9 years in Japan. And Pete Rose, who started his career in 1963, and by then the National League was playing 162 games. But the American League went to 162 a year before the National League in '61. They did that because the Angels and the Senators were added to the American League as these in 1961. They were the 17th and the 18th teams in Major League Baseball all told at that point.
Wow.
And of course the Senators moved here in 1960 from Washington, so Washington was without a team for, I believe, a couple seasons, 60 and 61.
The league has almost doubled in the number of teams since then.
Yep. So 18 teams in Major League Baseball after the '61 season. Now in 1962, the Colt 45s and the Mets were added. Of course, the Colt 45s in Houston would become the Astros. That's the first Major League team in the city of Houston. And so they were the 19th and 20th teams in Major League Baseball. I love the old Colt 45 footage. A lot of it is black and white of Jimmy Wynn hitting home runs. They had that big wall in front of a freeway that ran beyond the outfield. Echeverria up. Realmuto the runner at first. That's strike three call. Buddy Boshears took his time and got the out. Bottom of the ninth coming up. 10-2 Fish. By Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. Minneapolis. It's not that late. 10-2. Marlins on top. AT&T high-speed replay. Tom Kohler. I mean, we've talked about all these runs. We forget how good Kohler was. His defense didn't help him when the Twins got 2 runs in the 6th. But Kohler's only walk was intentional. He had 6 strikeouts. And a very nice night for Kohler. What impressed you most about him?
What impressed me most was his fastball command. He was very efficient with his pitches tonight. And whenever TK can throw his fastball where he wants to when he throws it, it leaves him to keep his curveball as an out pitch instead of having to try to throw it for strikes, more than one pitch in at bat. Now it's a put away pitch, excuse me.
So after Kohler, Mike Dunn, Dustin McGowan, and A.J. Ramos. And a smart move here by Don Mattingly to get Ramos in and get him some work. Marlins had an off day on Monday and then opened up the 3-game set on a Tuesday night. Ramos last worked on Sunday and got his 18th save. He's perfect on the year, 18 of 18. This is Eduardo Escobar hitting for the Twins. So it's always nice to get your closer some work headed into the Diamondbacks series. The one thing you as a manager worry about just a little bit is that Ramos ends up throwing a lot of pitches here in the 9th inning. So the hope is you come in, you get 3 outs, you throw a dozen to 15 pitches, call it a night, and jump on the plane, and you wake up in Scottsdale, which, if you're going to wake up someplace, is a nice place to wake up. Now the crack staff in the truck last inning was chatting about the 10-run rule. As we know, the 10-run rule, when the Marlins are up 10 or down 10, we oftentimes resort to the 10-run rule, which has some of the best baseball footage you've not seen. Liner to left, and it falls in front. So a base hit for Escobar. And now Ramos gets Trevor Plouffe. Ryan Dozier also scheduled to appear. One of the recent additions to the 10-run reel that's never been seen before is some of the most epic bat flips you've ever seen, Preston.
Yes.
Did you have a bat flip moment in your career, a walk-off homer or something that where you went all Joey Bats and flipped it up?
I've had many bat flips, but nothing like Joey Bats. Now, nothing that far or anything like that. No, that was quite the epic bat flip from Joey Bats.
For me, that was the best moment of Major League Baseball last year.
It was huge.
And I had no problem with him flipping the bat, hitting the second biggest home run in Toronto Blue Jay history.
Right. I agree.
But some of the bat flips we were able to find and procure. That's what we do, Preston. We procure these rare baseball video clips. Strike, whether it's Rojo Johnson in his ill-fated appearance in the minor leagues a few years ago.
Rojo Johnson. That was great.
Ramos misses outside, and this is what you worry about a little bit as a manager. If Ramos gets into this appearance, doesn't have sharp control, you don't want him to throw 25, 30 pitches, just trying to finish a game like this. You want to save those bullets just in case the Marlins need him tomorrow night, Saturday, Sunday. Got him. And so Ramos gets a strikeout there of Plouffe.
He's got the corner. Yeah, you don't want to tune up to turn into a struggle. That's a great pitch. Just caught the corner. Plouffe didn't like it, but it's a strike. You know, if you're a manager, you hope Ramos comes out and throws 15 pitches and you guys go home and shower and get on the bus. But if it turns into one of those 25, 30 pitches, now you got some thinking about what's going to happen in the next series with him.
Dozier and then Park. Derek Lee is the code tonight, the Fish Family Loyalty Program code, Marlins.com/fishfamily. D. Lee, or Derek, I believe, is the one you need to plug in to left.
2 R's. D-E-R-R-E-K. 2 R's.
Well, here comes Park. Park had a home run earlier in this series. That was the story of the first 2 games of this series. The Twins popping 7 homers and the Marlins not homering at all. And the Twins scoring late in both games after the Marlins have put themselves in a position to win those games. Still looks like he's trying to get comfortable out there, and Miami's bullpen is starting to.
Well, that was the 15th pitch. You don't want him to go too much more than that.
That one fouled off. Count 2-1.
For me, I wouldn't want him to, if he got to 20, that to me, that's enough. I got to get him out after 20 pitches.
To left on a hop. Yelich has it. Bags are loaded. And so now what does Don Mattingly do? Maybe he sends Juan Nieves out for a visit just to buy some time. Brian Ellington is in Miami's bullpen, and yes, Juan Nieves is out to the mound. Twins won't go quietly. Pitches out to Max Kepler. All alone is that Marlin fan. There you got a Marlin fan and his son. Bouncer to first, and it bounces foul. I believe that is Rick Williamson out there. There's a big Marlin fan, big contributor on emails and Twitter Tuesdays. Got an old school and new school.
Yeah, the one in
group out there.
The one with the pinstripes, that's the one I wore when I played with the Marlins, Rich. And then the other kid on the right has the new school. The Marlins with the multicolors and the nice big M on his hat. Oh, yeah.
through the glove of Real Muto. Runner comes home, throw home. Oh, and Ramos sprawls across the plate. Escobar's slide hits Ramos. Nothing good can come of that. With your closer exposed at the plate, and this is turning into a messy outing here in the ninth. That's a pass ball. I don't know if Real Muto was crossed up.
Yeah, that unfortunately that cost A.J. Ramos a run and the Marlins a run.
Kepler still up, 3-1 pitch, and it's out. And I don't know that Ramos is going to face another hitter.
Well, I said 20 pitches. That's 21. That's got to be it.
And Don Mattingly just trying to get some work for A.J. Ramos. And this is going to be it for Ramos. Twins have him loaded with 1 out. A.J. Ramos not real pleased in Miami's dugout. A 10-2 lead, chance to get a little work in, and it turned sideways on him with a run across, bags loaded, and 1 out. And Brian Ellington with a new haircut, ready to go to work. Ellington had made his Major League debut last year out of the University of West Florida. Juan Centeno at the plate. Miami infield looks for 2. Ellington throws hard. And he gets a strike. It's 0-1. Marlins Live is coming up. Jessica Blaylock on the field will be hosting. She will have a Marlin guest. Draft recap. 7th inning heaven, and I've just been told by the crack staff that there will be a 10-run reel bat flip fest. For those of you that have stuck around through this one, tell your friends, tell the kids, wake the neighbors. A 10-run reel clip on Marlins Live. On a hop, that could end it. On the turn, Rojas does. Nicely done by Brian Ellington. And so Miami puts a lot of runs up erases that 7th inning on blues that they had here. Well, the Twins won the first 2. Marlins get a game here, and Ichiro gets 2 more hits as he tries to chase down 3,000. 27 away is Ichiro now. 10-3 the final. Marlins live with a 10-run reel clip coming up.